morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. My name's Katie O, and this is Moon Mama Musings. Welcome back to my living room for another astrology people. For today, the 5th of September, 2021. We are in a waning crescent moon in the sign of Leo. And, yeah, things are nutty. All right, we got four transits we want to talk about today, or four aspects we want to talk about today. First one is the moon making a square with Uranus, yeah? So Uranus is the planet of unexpected change, right? But it's currently in retrograde in the sign of Taurus, which means that changes are happening in a little bit more of a bull crashing through a china shop kind of a way than just unexpected. It's unexpected, yes, but it's also in a really noisy and destructive kind of way. Whatever big tough love kind of challenges have presented yourself lately, they kind of continue to rage with this challenge, with this challenging aspect, really. The moon is all about our subconscious and our emotions, and with a square, it can be obstacles, boundaries, challenges, arguments, disagreements, that kind of stuff. So this is something that's like, there is some big upheaval that is rocking your world. All right, you're having some stuff go down. All right, yes, you might be experiencing some really beautiful gifts at the same time, but there are some very challenging things that are still going on in all of our lives right now. The moon is also in opposition with Jupiter. Opposition is a bit of a tug of war, right? And Jupiter being the planet of expansion, being the planet of luck, being the planet of the way that we grow, but also retrograde in the sign of Aquarius is sort of the new way of growth, the new way to move forward, this like new healing, new sort of direction, new procedures, new that kind of stuff. But either way, this newness still challenges our emotions and our subconscious, because of course we are still trying to like come out of old habits. Yeah, old habits die hard, you know. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. And with this, you know, the challenge kind of seems to spread and affect other aspects of our life, I feel. It's not just one thing. It's like you have a disagreement with one person about one thing, and then it's like 2 days later you end up having a disagreement with somebody else about the complete opposite of that thing, but it ends up kind of being the same argument. Like it's like a I don't know, you've got a friend who hates peas and you have a friend who loves peas, and one day you argue with your friend that hates peas about like maybe you're just kind of like bashing on peas a little bit too much. And then they're like, oh, whatever happens. And then a couple of days later, the other one's like, you're like, okay, dude, like maybe you gotta ease up on peas. Like there's other vegetables, right? So it's kind of that vibe. It's all like, it's the same. It's kind of like many mouths speaking the same thing in different languages, if you know what I mean. So maybe you even experiencing disagreements or arguments with people where you're actually kind of fighting for the same goal in a way. And I say fighting loosely, right? Where you're arguing the same thing, but neither of you are like, it's like you're arguing the same thing with different words and not realizing that the other is really like, you're both on the same side, right? It's like, why are you arguing? You're both on the same side. You're saying it differently, but you're arguing the same thing. It's kind of like the classic sort of argument about certain religions, is that they all do have very similar ideals of treating others with respect in the way that you would want to be treated. You know, like sort of the community-based ideals of many religions is all basically the same, right? But there are just, sorry, I lost my train of thought. They're all basically the same, but they're just expressed in different ways, right? It's kind of that kind of deal. You might find yourself in extremely polarized scenarios too. Growth recently, this unexpected change has caused, it's caused a certain polarization. It's caused a certain like parting of the seas, that you're a little bit more clear on who is in which camp, per se. And it can be challenging. Yeah. All right, what else we got? We got Moon making a sextile with Venus. So this is having compassion for yourself. All right. I feel like maybe the Moon in Leo has brought some of you guys into an has had moments that call you, excuse me. Sorry, you've had moments that call you into your masculine energy. super important that you heed those moments when they're appropriate, right? Like, if there was a bloodthirsty tiger standing over you, you wouldn't want to be cool as a cucumber, right? When danger is present, it's important to utilize your fight or flight mechanism, right? Yeah, so we want to temper it, but we don't want it to be non-existent. So maybe you've had a situation where that ego has needed to come out, where you've had to be in your masculine, where you've had to be the one that goes and seeks and lays the direction, all right? But this aspect here is reminding you that there is a time and a place for that, but remember to come back into your feminine after, all right? Reel your horns in and breathe a minute and come back down into your feminine energy after you have these outbursts, all right? It's normal to need to call upon that masculine energy when it's appropriate, right? But they're just saying don't stay in it, because that's when we overexpress things. That's when it becomes complicated, all right? So yeah, we definitely want to have compassion. Remember, sometimes compassion can have tough love aspects of it, right? With this Uranus thing. So sometimes the most compassionate act you can have is to set something free, all right? But just remember to be adaptable and fluid and just trust yourself, okay? Trust yourself. You've done so much work, all right? You've done so much, you've redefined so much, and you need to be able to trust yourself a little bit more with the things that are going on and know that you are acting right. Even if nobody sees what you're doing as the right course of action, or if it's not so obvious, if it doesn't reflect the 3D, what you've been understanding in the 5D, if you really do know in your heart of hearts and you've done the necessary vetting and the triage to understand which falls into which category, what stuff maybe you have been just sitting in your ego, and what stuff really has been coming through true important truths. You're really good at understanding that now, and you have to trust yourself. It's like you trust yourself in so many ways, but there's just something missing where you're like, oh well, all those other ways I'm totally trustworthy in all those other things, but not this. And it's like, but if you trust yourself all the way around across the board, except for this one field, like why? I don't understand. Where you have all this beautiful trust for everything, it should just be universal at this point. Why is there this outlier? Doesn't make sense. It just doesn't, it's not congruent. It just doesn't, there's no consistency. It's why is it here? One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Why is this here? Yeah. And this whole energy is kind of compounded by the last aspect I want to talk to you guys about. Mercury is in trine with Saturn. All right. Mercury in Libra has this beautiful balancing the scales aspect, right? It's about neutrality. This is about finding common ground. Mercury in Libra is finding the common ground, finding the space that there is no bias. Having a parlay. This is a parlay. All right. This is exactly what this is. This is a parlay. Your Saturnian structures are now being properly defined. With Mercury, remember, is a very intellectual energy. Yeah. So your new Saturnian energies, your new structures that you do know are true for yourself, they are now being intellectualized and conceptualized and defined. All right, you're being able to define them more readily with this Mercury trine Saturn. You're expanding your new ideals from this new course of this new intellectual stance. It's like, remember, the last Mercury retrograde, we worked a lot on our mindset. We worked a lot on our thought processes. We worked a lot on our self-talk, all right? We worked a lot on our truths, about being able to decipher, on our discernment and things like that. Archangel Michael's sword of truth, all of that wonderful stuff. So now those mindsets, right, we know we've integrated them, and we're defining them true and properly for good. We are realizing what aspects of the old managed to make it through the vetting process and need to be now sort of like reoriented to fit the new, right? It's like if a company was taken over, okay, and it cut, okay, say a company has 10 employees and it gets bought by another company, and that company has to keep 5 of the employees and lose other 5 of the employees, all right? So it loses the ones that don't fit with the new company's ideal, but it keeps the ones that do fit with the company's ideal. And in that respect, when you fit with the company's ideal, you still can't go on exactly the way you were with the old company, right? Because the new company has new rules, new people in place, new things that need to be respected, new teams, new goals, new vision, new direction. So those 5 people that do get kept and brought on. Well, they still need an integration. They still need a meeting where the new boss says, hey, I really appreciate your work you did for the older company, so much so that we wanted to bring you on, but we still do need to just brief you on how we want to see things done. All right? So that's kind of the vibe. I know, guys, it's really convoluted energy. It's really intense. And a lot of the time, like right now, guys, I'm really sorry. I'd love to be more clear with you about a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you're meant to be discerning right now. You're meant to be making those decisions, not for yourself, not me. All right? So yeah, the messages are a little bit convoluted right now, but it's because not only the circuit is growing, and by the way, thank you guys all so very much. I love you very much. I really, really appreciate all of your support. The circuit is definitely growing, and it's fantastic. But there's just this aspect of we've integrated our lessons so well now that we have to prove to ourselves that we have. And part of that is going to be coming to realizations on our own. Yeah. It's about not having our hand held anymore. Some of you have things that you kept as like that you revered as teachers or as study tools or things that you did, rituals or traditions that you established when you were healing that had a place, but they don't necessarily need to move forward, right? You maybe are outgrowing teachers, or you're not needing the same guided meditations that you used to do. Maybe you don't need to be guided at all. You can just meditate on your own now. Either way, there's like an outgrowing energy that's very prevalent. Okay. I'm not going to take those because they're too much. Okay, so I'm using a brand new deck that my beautiful, beautiful, wonderful friend Deb sent me as an early birthday present. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, sweetheart. This is the Oracle of Mystical Moments. It is, the Tarot of Mystical Moments. I've been using the Oracle of Mystical Moments in some of my videos, and now I've got the Tarot to match it. So we are going to ask the team of teams, what do we need to know? All right. Interesting. We have the Ace of Wands and the Seven of Cups. Okay. So, with this Seven of Cups, this is a bit of a different looking Seven of Cups. See, it's like, she's like looking at the stars and going like, wow, look at all these options I have. Like my destiny is just, it's so vast. It's not just one thing, right? It's like, oh man, I know that I could fit into so many timelines. I know that I could do so well. I know that I have options. I know that I would be equally happy seeking out a path of a good career as I could be if I sought out a relationship. It's like you were starting to see that all of these stars that shine in the sky, there's a reason there's so many of them. It's because there are multiple paths for you. But you see what's in her hand right here? She's got like a magic wand. It's like she's like first starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight, wish I might have this wish I wish tonight. You're presented with all these stars, and she's choosing that star with her magic wand. Magic wand. Look at this Ace of Wands. I love this because it's like this girl has this book, and look, this book looks like a grimoire, like an old spell book, like an old apothecary book. It's old. It's like passed down for generations. It's beautiful, and she's had this book, and she's been studying this book, and it's like she picks up the book one day, and boom, out comes this flower. You're like, whoa, what the fuck happened there? It's like by reading this book, by doing this research, by cultivating this passion, I feel like it's almost like I see the little girl from Pan's Labyrinth when she's talking about her fairy book. She's got like this book about fairies, and you see her eyes light up, and it's just like the childlike wonder of magic, like believing in magic and in fairy tale creatures and in all those wonderful things. It's cultivated, this book has cultivated some inspiration. And now she opens the book one day, and out comes this flower, right? It's a star, right? I'm saying I choose that star. Huh? Because this flower, it's like this girl, she hanging out during the day reading her book, right? And this flower comes out, and she's like, whoa, damn, okay, that flower's really cool. And she just kind of puts the book down and looks at the flower. And as she's looking at the flower, contemplating what all this means, what this Ace of Wands means for her, with this new beginning and passion and creation and all this wonderful stuff is, it starts to get darker and darker, right? And once the stars come out, she realizes that, oh my God, that flower is just pointing me to this exact star. So I'm going to take this flower and I'm going to transform it into a magic wand, and I'm going to go bibbidi bobbidi boo. That's the destiny that I desire. Let's see what's under the deck. Okay, this is really interesting. So a lot of tarot decks, when you get them new, they come with like a card that often just like introduces the deck and whatever. Sometimes I throw it away, sometimes I don't. This one they said, keep it in the deck. Why not? It's such a surrealist kind of deck. It's so whatever that you should leave us the option to say, we can't tell you. So they called me to look at the bottom of the deck and look what card it is. It is, in fact, the like descriptive card. It's not meant to stay in, like, it's not part of the tarot. But like I said, I intended to leave it there with the option of them being able to tell us, we're not telling you. So what was on the bottom of the deck? What's hidden from us? You're not meant to know yet. You're not meant to know yet. All right? It's going to be a mystical moment, my friends, but you're not meant to know yet. You're not meant to know yet. I just looked at the card briefly, and the word that jumped out to me was intuition. Use your intuition. Look, you've trusted yourself for so many things, and there's this one thing that you're still not trusting yourself about. And it's like, why? Why is it that you trust yourself unconditionally with everything, but this one thing you're making an exception for? You're judging yourself too harshly with regards to that. And some people may be judging you for it as well. If it's not that, then it's the fact that you know that there is some truth, and a lot of people are going, yeah, you're crazy. Like, there's no way you're ever going to be able to get that job, or there's no way you're ever going to be able to meet that person, or there's no way you're ever going to be able to do that thing or move to that place or whatever. It's like the 3D just really makes it look so impossible that people are literally kind of going like, oh God, the poor dear. She's just like, won't let go of that thing. Yeah. Remember, my friends, the stone, okay? You drop the stone, it breaks open, there's a diamond inside, and people finally go like, oh shit, you were right for carrying that stone around. There was something precious in it. It just wasn't time yet to see it. All right, what's the advice? Speak louder than words. Guys, do not be afraid to speak your truth right now. Be authentic. Yell to from the rooftops. Literally. Say what you need to say. Do not worry about how people's feelings get hurt with that kind of thing. Think about it. Okay? But the thing is that make sure that when you are speaking your truth, that it is calculated, that you're not just throwing a fart to the wind, right? Make sure that you've calculated these decisions, that you've thought about these things, that this is coming from a place of balance in your head and your heart. Okay, yeah, it's coming from a logical standpoint, but it's also coming through passing it through your heart. Like, how does it make this person feel, right? Some people, you're going to find, need to be dealt with in a harsh way so that they hear your message. If you've tried being nice with people all the time and being soft with your message and they haven't fucking listened, it's time to speak louder, okay? It's time to take that thing that you know so passionately is within you and speak your truth about it, all right? Psychic connection. Remember, this is really, really, really interesting, okay? Remember, you've got some people close to you that are extremely, extremely, extremely connected to you, and you are an extremely empathetic being. So whether they believe it or not, their opinions about certain things affect your energy stance. You recently have come to this point where you get these messages so much more readily. Your higher self speaks to you all the time, and it speaks loud and clear and tells you very, 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 very distinctly now. Before it was very misty, but you've managed to come back to yourself. You've managed to thin out a whole lot of nonsense that you didn't need, so that you actually do know what is you and what is not, and you have this beautiful discernment about what is close in your energy, right? But for some reason, you've still got this little hang up. It's like you still have this doubt that's coming in, I'm hearing. You still have this doubt. You still have this doubt, or whatever emotion it is that you're struggling with. All right, whether it's doubt, whether it's fear, whether it's anger, whether it's resistance, whether it's whatever it may be. This thing that keeps on coming up, keeps on coming up, keeps on coming up. It might not necessarily be yours anymore. You might have already sorted out the problem and you know what's what. But the thing is that you have this psychic connection with all these people that are close to you in your reservoir, basically, yeah, that is tricking you into thinking that you still have that doubt, because they're feeling that doubt about themselves, or they're feeling that doubt about, maybe, like I said, maybe some of you know that there's this truth and people are going, you're never going to be able to receive that goal. And that attitude about people saying you're never going to receive that goal is affecting you. But know that this isn't yours. If you still don't have that clear bing in your head about what is yours and what is not, maybe that is the last thing that you have to work on. Maybe that's what these challenges are all about. Maybe they're presenting you with challenging things in terms of that are going to make you doubt yourself, that are going to make imposter syndrome come up. Yeah. And maybe it's all for a reason, because you need to finally filter out those last energies that do not belong to you, that are affecting your field. You need to fortify your energy, your cup. If it has holes in it, it'll never fill up for you, and that's when you stay stuck, all right? Don't be a hero, my friends. You can try and help everybody that you want, but if you can't save everybody, all right? Anyway, it's a message for some of you. Okay, well, that's it for me. I'm going to be back when I'm back. Maybe here, maybe Instagram. The moon does transit tomorrow at 6:06 a.m. The 6th of... Isn't that funny? Is it 6:06? No, sorry. It transits... Why am I trying to guess when I've got my book right here? Yes, okay, so on the 6th of September 2021, the moon transits at 6:06 a.m. to the sign of Virgo. I might just do live really early tomorrow. Yeah, maybe I'll do that again. I'll do an early live. So I'll be on live on Instagram tomorrow, but I'm also going to put out a YouTube video as well. So keep an eye out for me. If you've not got the notifications on, turn them on, because I think I'm going to be doing astrology every day. No. All right. Anyway. Yeah, no, I am going to be doing astrology every day. I'm going to put out an astrology video every day, despite being on Instagram. So keep your eyes peeled for the astrology updates daily from now on. All right. And I'm going to figure out how to do it in advance so that I can cater my workload. Sorry, that's more for my own affirmations. All right, guys. Remember, I'm going through my shit just like you guys are. Don't put me on a pedestal. I'm trying to figure this out just as much as you are, and I'm so grateful that you guys helped me do it. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry for anything you're going through if I've made you feel a certain way. Thank you so much for lending your beautiful energy to the circuit that I hold so dear, and for being the beautiful being you are. Thank you to your guides, my guides, the ancestors, the ascended masters, the dragons, the angels, the whatevers, the energies that come and help us have these beautiful, clear, concise, easily deciphered messages. Maybe not so much today. For our greatest good. I love you to the moon and the stars and infinity and beyond and back, and I accept this. And I hope you do too. But if not, that's cool. We'll catch you next time. Bye.